Welcome back, all my 40k fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation to get another video out for my cronies. Recently, I've been talking a lot about this list that I'm probably going to take to a GT in the near future. I call it the Canoptic Harvest, where I run a lot of different Canoptic units out of a Novak dynasty, and the big heavy hitters of it are two Ctans. Using the new heroic support stratagem, I can take them both in a single detachment, so I've been trying it out without having to sacrifice command points like we used to. With that being said, the two clear winners as far as the Ctans go were the Void Dragon and the Nightbringer. And that's where I've been going with this list since its inception. But today, I was thinking about it, and I wondered if maybe I was a little too premature to write off one of the other Ctans, the other named Ctan, the Deceiver. In the past, the Deceiver got looked past because we competitively were running an objective secured and a free pregame move in most of the competitive dynasties. That now getting nerfed and not having access to that combination has led people to go into Novak, Mefrit, and other dynasties and get some of the traits out of there. So without having that pregame move, is the Deceiver's ability strong enough now? I want to present a couple of the things that I've thought about, some of the pros and the cons of the model itself, and see if it's worth taking. Very curious to hear what other people's thoughts are in this topic. So if you could subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell for notifications, and leave a comment below. Which two actually do you think is the best combination to take in a Necron dynasty? Right now, I still feel like the Nightbringer is the strongest one. He's the one that's able to get around phase capping. He has great, just overall unique abilities that he brings to the table. Being able to hit really, really hard. His generic Ctan power can snipe characters. He's the whole package. So in my opinion, Nightbringer is still number one. Some of that might be influenced by the meta and the things that I see out locally by me, and keep that in mind. Because before, if you ran a Ctan, it was one of the two. Nightbringer or the Void Dragon, prior to heroic support. And that usually would be because of your meta, whichever one did better. I've seen predominantly the Nightbringer was the most popular, but if you were playing Necrons around a time Imperial Knights were very good, or some of the people in your local community would play a lot of vehicle heavy lists, the Void Dragon does something that the other Ctans don't. He can buy you a phase faster. And what I mean by that is, if he gets shot on the first turn and you lose 3 wounds, then at the beginning of your turn, you're going to gain 1 wound back for living metal. After you gain that 1 wound, then you basically have another phase that they have to answer to him before he can get removed from the table. So if you have a lot of vehicles around, the Void Dragon can get to another phase faster. Most of the other Ctan, if you get shot at turn 1, assuming you go second, it's still going to be your turn 1, gain 1 wound. Turn 2, gain your second. Turn 3, you gain your third. So not until turn 4 do you get that additional phase on the Ctan. The Void Dragon, every time he kills a vehicle, at the end of that phase, he regains a wound up to 3. He can get to that phase, that turn, quicker, and in some ways get to a point where he's unkillable because of what your opponent might have left. That is a lot of good for the Void Dragon. However, at that same time, he needs to be able to kill vehicles. Some of the big ones that he might be able to get into a fight with, the Hecatons, other Toughness 8, Imperial Knights and stuff like that, he might not be able to take out in one full blow. And some of those things, the response could be enough to take him down if he's been able to float across the field as a giant pinata, losing 3 wounds as he moves. So it's kind of polarizing I've had with him. Also, his base is really large, which makes it difficult for him to hide. To me, he's still the choice that he's the choice that I currently have wanted to take over the others, since his damage output is just very, very, very strong in comparison. And even though his target is vehicles, that's fine. He's my anti-vehicle unit. I don't have a lot of that in my build as it currently is, and he does a very, very good job of being and filling that role. So then I got to thinking about the Deceiver. And so these are the two that I kind of compare into the most. Should I take the Void Dragon or should I take the Deceiver? One, the Deceiver is a little bit cheaper. Mind you, it's probably not going to buy me that much in the realm of extra items and stuff like that. It might let me get my 20th warrior back into a squad, but who knows? I would have to play around with the points on this. I've been more concerned about thinking about what I could do with him than anything else. He's going to let me redeploy 3 units. I feel like that almost can buy me an extra turn or an extra player turn. Because now, after I know who's going to go first, I can move units to go into a more defensive position, to fall back, fall away, or even get picked up and go into strategic reserve. I can have stuff that's on the field aggressively and then pull it off the field and let it go into strategic. He is still a Ctan. He still has the attack profile, the strength, the damage, and for 2 command points, he can ignore invulns just like the Void Dragon. Now, the Void Dragon's damage output is probably still better, even though he's primarily gets all his buffs when he's fighting a vehicle. He still has his tail for an extra d6 attacks, and just in all the rest of his profile and his gun, his spear, he's stronger in combat. The Deceiver still isn't bad. On top of that, the Deceiver is also inherently -1 to hit. So if I can potentially accidentally buy myself another round of shooting, making another unit have to shoot at him before going at something else, I'll take that. I'll take some -1s that might, because the 4-up invuln really doesn't stop that much. I think more times than not, I've had it stop the big d6 damage or the ones that it's a single shot that would take all 3 wounds out of the phase cap. And then I get hit by bolters and 3 wounds and I fail all 3 of them. So that 4-up invuln it's nice that it's there, but it plays better into the end of the game. It plays better into late when your opponent starts running out of resources to do damage and they need that. And you might be able to spend a command point on a reroll to go, oh, this is the only hit that's coming at my Ctan. Maybe I can stop you from doing the damage and keep whichever one it is alive. So that's what the Deceiver brings. Now, the Ctan power for the Deceiver, I should have looked over it before making the video, but it bases on the morale. It bases on leadership. And I believe it is you roll 3d6, and for each point you beat your opponent's leadership by, they take a mortal wound, but it might only be 2d6. And because I remember, the reason I remember this is I thought about running with Flayed Ones and Psychomancer to, one, give the reason to use Psychomancer because it's a cool model, but to be able to get the leadership as low as I could. Looking at armies like demons that also have leadership shenanigans, anything you can put out of Necrons is not even going to come close to comparing to what demons can do, and people are starting to think about that. So that wouldn't really work. I believe it can target characters, so that's efficient, but realistically, he's just the extra move, the redeploy, to be able to pull my guys back into a defensive position while still having a beat stick. So that's where I lie the question out for everyone, and I'm curious in the comment section. I feel like Nightbringer is the guarantee. If you guys think I should go in the Canoptic list is what I'm talking about, which, real quick recap on what it is: single Technomancer, double Chronomancer, Overlord with Pharaon and Resorb, 2 9-man squads of Scarabs, 1 19-man squad of Warriors, 1 3-man of Spiders with Particle Beamers, and a 5-mana Wraiths, a 4-mana Wraiths. Then there's 2 Ctan. Which 2 Ctan should it be? Right now, I'm still leaning towards Nightbringer and Void Dragon, but I can't say there isn't an argument for running the Deceiver. Curious on what you guys would think. Comment down below: Nightbringer Deceiver, Nightbringer Void Dragon, or Void Dragon Deceiver if you guys think that's the best play. I look forward to reading your comments and talking to you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.